All right, welcome back everyone to the PSU LCS. Once again, I'm Dom. Doing the solo cast here tonight for Team Miku versus the Universe. Another one of our big playoff affecting games here with the Universe at the top of the standings. Miku somewhere in the mix there. So far as we get ready for the draft. Miku's last game did go 1-1 versus Coach Cap, so you do have that one on there. Universal, let me check. Let me open up the Google Drive real quick. We'll see how their last matchup went that they played. Going to assume it went pretty well for them. We're going to open up Pro Draft here, make sure everything's up and running. And we're actually just going to get straight on the draft, so I'll get back to that in a minute here. But draft has in fact begun. Miku gonna ban away the Zillion first, get rid of a, although not I would consider one of the OP champs, definitely something more of an annoyance. Hecker may be banned away by Universe, take away the strongest jungler patch. The Aurelia banned away from Universal, so no one-tricking here today for the Universe top laner. Now some options. We've seen mostly Mitmok get banned out from Miku in most of their games, so something like a Kha'Zix, something like the Karthus here may be a ban from Universal. Otherwise, can look maybe at the top lane to pick, but instead they are going to go with the Karthus ban, so continuing to pinch Mitmok's pool, and then Vayne banned away, again, mostly from Universal, but also can be played by Revix in bot lane. So a little bit of a different ban choice, and Shen going to be banned away, so keeping with a little bit of the safety top laners taken away here from Miku, one of Nightlark's more go-to picks. We've also seen the Ornn, which is the other one, so could see that coming in here. But B1 for Miku, don't necessarily want to blind a lot of their priority picks. Kha'Zix is still up, which is a big pick for them, so not necessarily wanting to B1 that. Could always look at the Ornn B1 to pick a safe top laner that Rohan's going to counter pick anyway. Instead, taking away the Sivir for J-Morgs. Pretty strong pick, still can go with scaling options or the lethality build, both of which scale okay, but the classic 80, 300 CS win con, always something on everybody's minds. So there's that to consider. And now, Universe, a few picks coming up here for them. R1, R2, probably the ADC pick locked in here. If nothing else, still Kai'Sa available, which, lo and behold, is the lock-in. Sergio Kai'Sa, Nautilus might be into the pick, even with the Spell Shield. Nautilus can get around that. Depth Charge into Dredgeline, or Dredgeline into Depth Charge, however you want to play that, can work still. Character still a very strong combo. Kai'Sa could also go the way of Leona, if you want to go that way. I don't think they have too many other contested picks here. I want to show their hand too much. Mid and, of course, jungle still very much available. Udyr still a pick available if they want to go with that in the jungle. Xin. And yep, there's the Udyr. So Universe sticking with the more meta staples so far in the draft. Udyr, or Olaf, one of the more characteristic offers of Mitmok. And I wouldn't actually be surprised if we saw something like the Sivir Yuumi here out of Miku. It's something they have suggested in the past, so could see something with Sivir Yuumi. It's a very old bot lane combo. Instead, going with Sivir Seraphine. So very similar, buff up Olaf, you have Sivir to help him run in. So already got a pretty good identity for Miku here. Lots of engage in terms of just running into the enemy team. And with the Ornn probably coming in here in second phase, looking to round that out. But Universe still has one more pick onto their table to get through. I would assume it's going to be the counter pick support matchup and just go for the bot lane and keep the rest of your cards very close to chest. And they will go with the Janna and then insta-ban the Lulu. Might be a mistake. Okay, it's a Lulu pick. There's a Lulu pick. And the Ornn is banned. So they're instead going to ban out the Urgot. Now this is a mid-Urgot ban. It's Flex Procraft has played it before. We saw that in their game very early on in the season versus Sanamikora Watanabe. Now one more ban here. So Lulu is Ornn, Janna is Lulu in the current Pro Draft phenomenon, and they're going to ban away. Yep, just targeting the top lane, trying to bring Nightlark as far down the pool as he can go. And instead of the Swain ban. So just kind of targeting Procraft here in the mid lane, more of his staple picks. So they're going to have to blind something here. With Ornn, Malphite, and all these other champions banned away, would not be super surprised to see something like the top line. Instead, they're going to go with Anivia in mid lane. Not a pick we see too awfully often. Does get countered by a lot of ranged artillery mages. Vel'Koz is actually another option that we still have multiple players. Both J-Morgs and N0 both play Vel'Koz. It doesn't really fit well with Miku's theme they got going here with their composition here, but does do well in the lane. And Vel'Koz is the hover, so might, yep, locks it in. Now he has the blind top lane. Bit of a rough patch here. Nightlark very far down the champion pool. You have Shen's gone, Ornn's gone, and Malphite are all gone. Sion would be another of the tanky safe boys in top lane, so picks that one up no problem. And Universe with one counter pick top lane. Aurelia's banned out. Vayne is gone. Jax is an option here for Universal to take up. Universal, of course, normally playing a lot of the carries, has the Lulu to buff up as well, so Jax is very strong. Instead, we go with the Wukong. So again, another big team fight ultimate, a little bit less of a solo carry style player. Wukong can take over the game, but not necessarily in the same way that a Jax can. Either way, still a very strong pick. We'll get into regular draft here in just a second. For now, same bands, everything else, but going back to the compositions at hand. Both these teams, it's a little bit odd, not necessarily the most coherent of draft picks. I think Universal has put up a very scary comp. You have Kai'Sa, who can dive in the back line. Udyr is a good frontliner / strong early game jungler for harass. Good ganking, good farming, good clear still. Not necessarily as good as he was like 2 patches ago, but still very strong. Nivea can hold down the mid lane. Isn't a counter matchup with a Vel'Koz, so might be having a little bit of a hard time with that particularly, though Vel'Koz much more susceptible to a lot of ganks than Anivia is, given the Q on Anivia. And then you do have a very strong teamfight presence. You have Kai'Sa, you have Lulu, you have a Wukong for initiation. I'm not going to say it's the simplest teamfight comp to play here from Universe, but very one-dimensional in terms of, hey, we want to be able to engage with Udyr, engage with Wukong with it, and then follow up with a Nivea damage. Lulu can shield whoever they need, and Kai'Sa can dive a backline squishy. They also have some disengage with the Nivea, as well as Wukong, but a little bit less so in that department. And then it's actually the N0... Wait a second. So N0 Anonymous has taken Seraphine in the draft, which is a little interesting. Which would mean it's Seraphine mid, in fact, into the Anivia, and not the Vel'Koz, which has a fairly good lane. I'm not sure how the Seraphine lane fares, but Vel'Koz certainly could give the bot lane a lot more pressure onto Lulu. Lulu generally not doing as great into the artillery mage supports, so if Shidozaki Riga can pilot the pick, could be a pretty scary bot lane, actually. If you're looking at lethality Sivir with a bunch of poke damage, can get very dangerous. So yeah, it will be Vel'Koz support, looks like, for Team Miku. And now, just kind of go the choose your loadout. Again, Miku, if we're going to go look at their comp a bit, a lot of different options. They did switch, okay, so just a mispick on N0's part, so it will be the Vel'Koz mid as expected. But Miku's got a lot of options here. You do got Sion ulti for engage. You do have Olaf as well, who's going to be a dominant force starting the backline. Doesn't necessarily have the buff ups that a Yuumi can give him, but nonetheless, Seraphine also going to be there. Empowered heals on shielded targets. Vel'Koz has long range poke damage onto Anivia. Very hard to engage on with Weird. And then Sivir, of course, has a spell shield. Going to have a lot of damage. Can't go AD or lethality here. Both of which I think are fine. Both are going to do plenty amounts of damage, so I think a little bit of a more, I'm not going to say balanced competition, because that's not the word I'm thinking of. It's not that balanced, but Team Miku has some options just like Universe had. They have good engage with the Sion, with the Olaf, with the Seraphine ultimate. They have good damage. just like Universe does with Anivia and Kaisa and Wukong to agree. They have a Vel'Koz, they have a Sivir. Seraphine and Olaf both do fair amounts of damage in their own right. And they do have Sivir ulti to disengage, re-engage. Seraphine ulti for the same purpose. Cyan will get you out of very sticky split pushing situations. There's plenty of avenues that Miku have to play this game with. It's going to be kind of, a lot of this is going to depend on laning phase, because once one of these compositions gets like a fair amount of lead, it is going to become much harder for them to play. There isn't an inherent draft advantage like we've seen in other games today, with Game 2 of Side of Core versus 2014 being a good example of that. But still going to be very interesting to see how it goes. I believe the Olaf Udyr matchup is Olaf favored in the early game, Olaf being able to out-heal. Udyr does have the stun early on, but once you hit 6 on Olaf, Ragnarok, you really don't care too much about the actual CC that Udyr can provide. What I will say is a lot of this game, especially once we get a teamfight phase, is going to revolve around Universal on the Wukong being able to get initiations in. If Universal can get clean initiations on something like N0, onto J-Mars, onto Shinozaki Rika, Miku's composition falls apart pretty fast. Vel'Koz is pretty poor in terms of being able to peel off a Wukong off of an ulti engage. Same with Sivir. You do have one spell shield, but the knockup still goes throughout the animation, so it can be very hard to play as the Sivir, as the Vel'Koz, two more or less immobile AD carries. And Seraphine, the same thing. Super squishy. Wukong will blow Seraphine up in an instant once you're on top of her. So it's going to depend on a lot on how Miku end up playing around their more mobile carries, how well Universal can get off initiation. Now, if Miku can kite back, disengage off Wukong, or even find like a Seraphine ulti or a Vel'Koz, even knock Wukong in the air and burst him down, even through stair engage sometimes, without having too much issue, then I think Miku is a pretty good shot in this game. They're going to be able to outrange with Sivir and Vel'Koz against a lot of the enemy carries. Anivia will be a problem for zoning the Sivir and the Vel'Koz doing a lot of damage, but beyond that, going to be able to deal with Kaisa, going to be able to deal with Anivia pretty easily. Udyr and Lulu might be a little bit of a scary problem for them, but not super bad. For Universe, stuff to worry about. Olaf, of course, minimizing CC, can just jump on your carries, can deal with Lulu. Seraphine ulti is still broken. Still very broken, in fact. So there's that to go off of as well. Does Universe have any relevant players? Oof. The Flame is a bit misworded. They are the #1 team currently, besides, I think, 5-inch Growth because they're tied up there, or near there up. Universal has been one of their primary carries so far. Procrast been looking fine. Boobies has been a dominant force in the jungle. And then Squishy Beans, Revex, able to deal with bot lane. So, is a very strong team. If you just look at the records and you look at how the matchup's been going so far, Universe is certainly favored in this series. They ain't #1. I beg to differ in terms of the stats page. No, they are 2. Universal, your 5-inch Growth Gods is 1 win ahead. So they are #2. Still very impressive regardless. As we get loaded on up here into game. Not super interesting rune-wise for this one. So we're very fast loaded. Very fast loaded. And we'll have game 1 here. Team Miku versus the Universe. Again, very important for playoff seeding for both of these teams. These two games. Probably, we're looking to see maybe not super sure if any of these teams will go for an invade. Neither really super strong on it. Not terribly great level 1 between any of these teams. So we'll just be the 2 5-point stances. Coming out here. Seraphine gonna get there eventually. Shinozaki could be a little bit late on the load-in.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
But it's good to note that Miku will have teleport advantage for pretty much the entirety of this game, given that N0 and Nightlark both spotting the TP Summoner spell. Meanwhile, Universal going to have it as well. Procraft instead going for a very aggressive choice in the Anivia, the Ignite on Anivia against a matchup where you are outrange is not necessarily something that's very common. I would have expected to see the TP for a lot more lane pressure and map pressure, just being able to keep getting back to waves. Instead, not going to be the move here today. Going to go a little bit more aggressively. And of course, early game, if you can land some Qs, get a good gank off from Boobies, can be a very effective summoner spell. But till then, we'll have to see. Both supports, interestingly enough, also taking Exhaust for the dive potential of both Wukong and Olaf. So you do have very much safety for the bot lanes. taking heal as well. And will be blue buff starts for both these junglers, so Olaf will have to go that bottom side first. Olaf passing towards top side, which is definitely where Universal's characteristically played around. This top side of the map, Universal has been a dominating force in the top lane, even on his less exemplary game. He's still vital in the game. So we'll be looking to get him ahead early on. Otherwise than that, not that one both the junglers going to be going for full coverage. We're actually ahead about a camp right now, so is a little bit accelerated. Did have the leash though, so that contributes quite a bit to it. Udyr, not Olaf behind, sorry, Udyr is ahead. Going to be quite a bit ahead here on the camp. Game sound a bit too high? Sure, give me 1 second. I can turn me up as well. And bot lane pressure is going to go towards Miku early on. There, should be a little bit louder now, if that works. Seraphine designing good close. J Morgan as well with the Q, although it is quite low on mana already. Have to watch out here for level 3 coming in, mid lane. Already there. Both junglers clearing out their final 1 or 2 camps before Crab spawns. Again, Booby's still quite far ahead on the Olaf in terms of clear thus far. Already onto Krugs. So, getting there. Top lane in a bit of a compromising position for Miku, so maybe Booby's going to look here, possibly even before the Crab to get a gank off on Nightlark. Is very extended. His lane does have the vision, so has spotted off the Udyr, but is not yet backing off. Finally does so. And no gank will be had, but meanwhile, top Crab's still going to be there. Gonna have to see a little bit of CS off that, but being safe a little bit more on the important side. So both junglers going to be able to clear the Crabs out. No Scuttle Crab contests. Udyr sees it's a blue side blue side start to go off for sure. No camps up for him to really take at this point. They haven't gone for a second respawn, so he's just going to sit top and see if there's any opportunity before he takes his first recall. Meanwhile, though, Bitmock maybe a bit extra of it. Nightlark getting engaged on by Universal. Booby's here as well. Has a bear tent. Flash away is necessary there. If you get bear slap, there's a fair chance that you just die. And with the flash going to be able to continue to stay in this lane, is down quite a bit of CS. Fair amount going to be picked up here off of this wave that just crashed, but still going to need some time. As Universal going to quickly tap to take an infiltration again on the Wukong. Udyr still not backing. Olaf has cleared both of his bot side camps. So while these gank attempts are going off, Booby is looking for N0 Anonymous, who is just running bot side. Olaf, sorry, is in the area. So another failed gank attempt. N0 not even needing to burst himself himself. So Graf possibly looking, sees Mitmock, and knows he must back away. He's not going to get awesome coming up to the entirety of the bot side here. Gone is Mitmock. Actually going for the Raptors contest here. So very aggressive play on the Olaf. They're trying to steer away from Boobies. Raptors does hit is level 5, so is quite far ahead of Boobies. Few Raptors go the way of the Olaf and the Vel'Koz, but nothing too major. And Sivir not yet showing her hand on the build either. Is Miku's bot lane taking their first recall. Grabbing the double longsword, so still can go both the serrated Dirk or the Noon Quiver. No real big difference between the two. Teleport coming in from Vel'Koz and Sion. They're going to go for the 4-man bot lane. Revex gets tagged by N0. Certainly dead on the Kai'Sa here. Missed from Nightlark, so first blood does go through as N0 Anonymous gets flashed out by Boobies. Olaf did escape, and Boobies does get knocked up here, so Mitmock going to be able to get the name out. Good exhaust by Squishy Beans. Going to be able to turn it for now, but Boobies still in trouble. Seraphine not going to grab it yet. She's not going to be able to find the kill with the flash forward. So it ends up being a 1 for 2. The exhaust from the side of Squishy Beans able to get Boobies to live long enough to grab the trade kill there. However, all in all, Universal still going to get quite a bit out of this top lane. Tons of CS going over towards the side of, and XP towards the side of Universal. He's probably going to get a full plate off this one. Over in top lane, bot lane. Still going to be able to pick up the XP if not the farm. Kai'Sa did get back to lane pretty quickly. So very big lead in the bot lane for Team Miku, but top side going to be suffering a little bit from it. And Very nice early play from Team Miku. Coordinated double TP, not something we see too terribly often in the PSU LCS. Boobies and Mitmock gonna fight it out. Vel'Koz is taking the recall though, so not necessarily a fight you want to take with top priority over to the side of Universe. Boobies able to just grab that one. Does not clear out the control. There you go. Okay, he didn't forget. He didn't forget. He's gonna take the control ward. And finally, Wukong gonna go for a second recall here. Already has the Sheen, so pretty strong. As Udyr knows that Olaf is here, but does Olaf know that Udyr is here? The question. Boobies make himself known. TP immediately from Universal. He wise to give it the move up, but instead he's stunned up and away. Universal coming back in is sick. Pop the ulti, flash forward to grab it. Missed by the E on Vel'Koz, but the ult does some damage. It's going to be a trade 1-for-1. Sion now coming to the fight as well. Anivia nowhere in the area. Universal gets tagged by the Vel'Koz Q. Sion once again misses the E. The Q's slow. Enzianonymous is waiting on the Q cooldown to get this passive proc. Doesn't find it. Good sidestep from Universal as he might be able to get out of this one. He has the E coming off cooldown here very shortly. Nightlark needs to tag him. Doesn't, but Enzianonymous does get the kill. The execute not there yet. 2-for-1. Over to the side of Team Miku. The blue buff still alive and well for Mitmock to get back up and take, but Olaf certainly a little bit behind this matchup now. A lot of kills going over. 2 kills though on N0. Certainly nothing to scoff at if you're Team Miku. Vel'Koz from ahead can do an absolutely amazing amount of damage as J-Morg's fighting with Boobies in the bot side of the map. Has Mitmock here now as well. There comes the Anivia stun. Does land, but the blue buff is secured by Mitmock, who is continuing to pursue in this jungle, looking for Squishy Bean, but he's all by his lonesome. The wall has walled off the rest of the team. Mitmock did 6, can't be stunned up anymore, but taking quite a bit of damage from that Phoenix stance. Will have to start backing away here, can't really take much else, as they look to turn on the dragon, knowing Boobies probably going to have to go for the reset. All in all, pretty solid play by Team Miku. They get the blue buff, they're going to get the dragon for their attempt, burn a few abilities, and start to continue that soul stacking. So, dragon is secured. Grab that first one. We have Ocean Drake up next, so you're looking at a Mountain Soul or Infernal Soul, both of which good for both teams in this instance, as sporting both tanks and damage dealers galore. And so far, Miku does have the advantage, around 1.3k gold lead overall, but that might change here quickly as top lane under siege. Nightlark looking for the ult away. Boobies looking to cancel it. Just going to get the stun in. Don't think he had the mana possibly, so Nightlark going to fall over. Universal picking up, I believe, that kill. So we'll grab that one. And it's a good top kick there from Boobies to make it happen. Saw the Scions overextended, maybe not have enough mana for ultimate. Threatens the interrupt on the ultimate and grabs the kill for free. Nightlark wisely just not going to flash there. Can't live it, if it does, probably does. And instead, it's going to be the attempted play here on the blue buff. Bringing over Anivia, but then Enzianonymous is around, so the blue buff play is spotted out. Smite comes through early. Anivia going to grab the buff, but will it be a fight after? Wukong in the area. Sion's going to come up here in a minute. And there comes the ulti from Olaf. The Ragnarok grabs in the egg. Nightlark also here. Universal abandons the play, so it does end up being the blue buff transfer completed. So maybe not really worthwhile. The ultis come in. Olaf actually able to grab that kill, so doesn't grab his blue buff right back. Enzianonymous actually finds Boobies on the red buff, steals the red buff away, and gets the solo kill. The Vel'Koz is now absolutely massive. N0 kind of big heads up play on, thinking that Udyr was going for the red buff, decides to go and check and ends up grabbing a kill and a buff for his troubles. Now 3-0 and 3 going to be dishing out an absolutely ludicrous amount of damage to mid-game, going for what appears to be Leondra's completion. As bot side still advantage over to Miku. A lot of this CS difference going to be picked up, of course, by Kai'Sa once this wave crashes. But mid lane most assuredly going Miku's way. As a lot of these topside river fights, while Universe has been getting some advantages in that regard, they haven't been doing too terribly much in the kill front. And more than that, the Herald was secured by Team Miku. And now, all in topside actually by Universal, looking for the kill on Nightlark, has the armor shred down. Second proc ulti's there. Sion getting very low. Does not have the ulti yet, so just has to keep trying to duel, but he's in a losing battle. The Sheen and Phage doing a little bit too much for what he's worth. Now Nightlark just gonna grab some CS with the Sion passive. Can't really duel the Wukong here at this point. You need some more tank items. You need the Tabby completion more than likely. You need maybe a Bramble Vest as well. That's the standard tank build. But Gonna need some more items before he can really decide to duel Universal. The Armor Shred does do a ton of work in the early game, you don't have that much to go around. And yeah, looking for the soul kill mid, burns the flash as well. N0 so absorbed, grabs the kill, the passive Brock. Oh, this is what happens when you feed a Vel'Koz, because once he is ahead, there is not much you can do about it. And that's going to be a ton of plates mid lane as Mitmok coming here with the Herald. Wukong going to come down, Universal, try to persuade them to not take the full turret, but Mitmok probably just going to pop the Herald and grab the full turrets off of this wave. Hoping he does, considering that is the probably the best move you can make here. So looking for the Herald proc, going to grab some more hits on the turret to make sure it's executable. Now finally pop the Herald, so Miku, 5 plays in the mid lane. They're going to get the first Herald down, which is going to secure a turret. More than oh, it didn't secure the turret, never mind. Oh, there it goes. There we go. So yeah, first turret already down in favor of Team Miku. That is the mid lane, which can be a little bit scary for Vel'Koz. Vel'Koz not exactly a fan of long lanes, but isn't necessarily a stranger to them either, as Booby's looking to pick your N0. A very tasty morsel. Seraphine trying to help. Olaf pockets the ultimate. And there's a beautiful Seraphine ult from Cito Zakarika. Sadly, there is no follow-up damage from that, as both N0 and Mitmok were backing off. But now, Cito Zakarika in some trouble. Mitmok has come back to the other side. Squishy Beats finally has to use the rampant growth, as Rebek possibly caught out on the wrong side as well. Eggdot finally comes down, so he's trying to buy more time. Good ult away from Rebek's Killer Instinct to get out of harm's way. And after a little bit of overcommit there by Squishy Beans, Universal bot lane able to disengage. Maybe a little bit overstay here from Miku trying to grab all these camps. Most of teams still come back. Universal also here, flashing forward, grab the ultimate. Olaf is dead. Mitmok has a flashing forward. Now a very late TP from Lightlark. This could be very scary. The Scion really doesn't have a good way out here. Vel'Koz burns the ultimate, is flash forward to the wall from Nightlark, looking for the kill on Universal, but the shield from Booby is doing fine. Finally gets the ultimate, finds there, but Ender Anonymous finds the kill. He's stunned up, and now Booby's looking for the shutdown. Ender Anonymous still done. Anivia grabs the shutdown as the fight still going the way of Universal. Revek's finding one kill as well. Booby's trying to cut away the turtle stance, getting him so much HP. Nightlark can't follow. J-Morgs doesn't have the speed, and Universal coming up big in that fight. Big shutdown on the Vel'Koz going on to Procraft. Nightlark also falling, Mitmok also falling, so it ends up being a 3-for-1 in favor of Universal. Very good play. Miku very greedy in the bot side jungle. Too big of an overcommit to really register. They only really get the Gromp for the troubles and not too much else. So that brings Universal back in the game. Miku did have a very, very strong lead in the early portion. Now still very strong 2K gold lead. Very dominant position to be at this point in the game. But nothing absurd. They are going to continue to track Drake. Second Drake going the way of Miku. It is going to be the Mountain Soul, so tanks just going to continue getting tankier on their side of things. There's a miniature lane swap actually happening, as Vel'Koz has, who did teleport top lane to pick up the massive wave crashing in there that Universal go to. The TP was top lane just to, I think Wukong thought he could do something, but Vel'Koz does find Universal. And might get the kill here, but he's ulting the clone. I don't think he realizes it. Universal still up inside. Another one tags. He's just what helped, and the Gromp will get the assist. Solo kill for N0. The Vel'Koz 6-1 on an artillery mage. Really scary at this point in the game. There's way too much damage for what it's worth, as J-Morg's perfectly happy to just sit bot lane and chill. So tons of pressure on the Sivir. Is going with the AD Sivir, so we'll be able to burn down the Wukong, the Udyr, and even the shields from Lulu as the game goes on. Nightlark might find boobies here. And sees he takes the red buff, so is just going to back away as there's not much more he can do there. Rest of the team is up. Both supports top side. And now, probably some resets going in. We still got a fair amount of time to the next objective. 3.5 minutes on the Mountain Drake, 4 minutes on the Baron, as Nightlark might be overextending here for the turret. He just wants to grab the proc. Will in for the turret as Scions do. Indy Scion hasn't been distracted in quite a while, but he's just trying to do it this time. The Lulu only comes down. There's the overgrowth on a Universal to prevent any further Vel'Koz damage, but N0 notably notices that Nightlark is quite doomed on the Scion pick and decides to disengage before he falls prey towards the Udyr. Still maybe looking, actually. Thinks he can maybe one-shot the Wukong this time around as Squishy Beans checking in. The Mid-Mog pops the ultimate. It will not be contested here. Squishy Beans does fall down. Booby's coming over. N0 Anonymous is still here. Does not find the E as Universal gets stunned up. Finds the ultimate though. Booby's going very low. Does get the kill, but it's traded back immediately. N0 Anonymous grabbing one. It will prevent the Herald for now, but it is still a 1 for 2. Yeah, 1 for 2. Or 2 for 2. Sorry, overall on the top side after all things are done. I cannot count. I'm play-by-play hype man. I'm not here for my brains. But all in all, after all this is done, still more than now a 3K gold lead for Team Miku. Incredibly fed on the Vel'Koz. The other carry on the Sivir still doing perfectly fine as well. About a little bit less than 20 CS in the green on the Sivir. About has the first mythic completion as well. So feeling pretty good on the carry. Of course, you still do have that 300 CS Sivir win con that you can always play for. Interesting build here from the Vel'Koz. Actually going with the Demonic Embrace second. Not something you normally would see. Burn damage on Vel'Koz not necessarily like super common, as soon as like we can dodge the few abilities there. But Boobies now popping the turbo cap tank, looking for the pick on the Seraphine. Still has the ultimate available. Wild Growth going on to Boobies very early on. I think more damage is thought to be levied, maybe an ulti from Shinozaki Rika, but instead wisely holds on to that ultimate cooldown. As Drake up in 1 minute 30 seconds. Just going to go for the disengage. And Mitmok may be overcommitting a little bit here. Does get walled off, but has the blue mid lane without that mid lane turret. And for now, all seems to go back to normal. Universal does seem to want to go down toward this mid lane here. Maybe there's a bigger fight breaking out. Nightlark in the top lane trying to pick up some farm. Is very behind on the Scion. 0 and 4 with only 80% farm. Not where you want to be in the top lane, but it's still just a Scion, so is very manageable. Sivir probably looking for a pick on his Squishy Beans here. Booby splashes away. No spells for J-Morg, so is falling a little bit low. Axe also misses from the Olaf, so that's two pretty big cooldowns. Ragnarok as well as the Sivir ultimate going to be down for Dragon here as Universal already in the bottom lane. Miku going to have to be a little bit careful here. Booby's going for one final reset. Drake spawning in 47 seconds. As Universal ticking down, does get chunked very low, and again another ultimate from Miku. Being burned so close to Dragon spawn, I'm not sure if this is the route they really want to take. Universal almost having the TP back off cooldown. They have to have an idea of when that cooldown is. And now they're not going to have the Vel'Koz ultimate. They're not going to have Sivir ultimate. They're not going to have Ragnarok. There's so many cooldowns that aren't going to be available despite that are so essential to Miku doing a lot of damage and work done in the course of these team fights. You do have Booby picking up the blue buff. They are going to go for a push instead. It's actually secured. It is secured. Vel'Koz did not grab that. And now we're going to have our first 5v5. Universal really does not want to give this breakup, as it will put Team Miku at soul point, which is always dangerous. Once you're at soul point, you are able to just force your opponent to do so many odd maps, and you can force him to really bad macro plays. As Miku starting to look to group up here to take this Dragon fight. N0 Anonymous currently in the front line, which isn't exactly the greatest position for Vel'Koz to be. Wukong looking for the engage, finds it on to Vel'Koz and Seraphine. That's big. N0 Anonymous launching away. Good Seraphine only finds 4 members as Vel'Koz tries to get up, but immediately gets by Universal. Now it's Revix in the back line. They found Vel'Koz. They found the shutdown. But can they get anything more? J-Morg is looking for Revix to blast forward. The Q hits. He's dragging one more auto attack, and Mitmok finds it with the axe. Ends up being 4 for 1. The Seraphine ulti and the damage proved to be too much. They did find the pick on the Vel'Koz, but it will be the third break over to Team Miku. And that is a massive one fight now. 4.4 the gold lead for Miku here at the 20-minute marker. Feeling pretty good about it. Just after a 25-minute soul, so just about on pace for an early soul dragon. And so far, looking pretty good. A lot of resources expended by Universe solely to try to get N0. You had the Wukong ult. The engage was good there. You had the Kaisa ult to dodge the Seraphine charm. And you get the kill, but you end up losing your engage. You lose Wukong, and the rest of your team is pretty much insta-killed by Olaf, Scion, and Seraphine. Meanwhile, Sivir just burns down Revix, and the fight just kind of ends at that. And now you have a still very strong Vel'Koz and 2 full completed items. Olaf has 2 items. He's got the Sterix gauge. You have the mythic item completion on the Scion now. Sivir's looking for that Essence Reaver build. You have a stacking Darksteel onto Moonstone Seraphine. The heals are there, and the shields are there, and all the damage that Miku really wants is already present. That's really unfortunate on that crab. That was 1 HP. That's a feels bad. And either way, Miku, at this point for Miku, you can just play this out at this rate. You can farm up, continue to get Bear Vision, look for your soul, and not really do much. It seems like Enrica a little bit too forward in the lane. The Seraphine has been picked off, and now Booby's possibly looking for more onto J-Morgs. The Wild Growth allowing him to do quite a bit, but the pick is made onto a pretty big part of the disengage for Miku, and now a little bit of posturing around the Baron from the side of Universe, but not able to really get any affirmative control just yet with N0 in the area. No problem, still do it. Looking for the kill onto the Anivia, does get immediately stunned out of it though, so not going to have that one available. And now possibly another commit. Midmont going in, does get immediately exhausted once again by Squishy Beans. And a TP from Universe Soul means that there's going to be nowhere else for them to go. Now that teleport, importantly, now going to be down. More than likely, I think. Teleport scales with cooldown now, so I'm not entirely sure, but going to be very close, if not down, for this next break in 2 minutes 40 seconds. You do not have teleport on the Wukong. You're not going to have teleport more than likely on the Scion. Yeah, actually, you probably will have teleport on the Scion now. Back up, so teleport advantage will be affirmatively in the hands of Team Miku. They can have Silent pressure available. Shinozaki Rika in another dangerous spot. Finds Boobies again, but does have the Empower to ease, so can just kite away from that one. And now again, we're a bit of a lull state. No one really wanting to do Baron yet. You don't want to throw the game if you're Team Miku on the Baron. You don't want to try to just give a free Baron to Team Miku if you're Universe. So it's just kind of everyone waiting for this soul point break. This will be definite contest from Universe. They're going to want to try to fight on this. So far, the 5v5s have not been there in their favor, but if conditions fare better, if they can get off a good engage like last time and not get 4-man by Shinozaki Rika, there's a good chance that they can try to do something in this fight. Burst down the Vel'Koz, burst down the Sivir, and then you're not left with too much damage. Could look for a turn instead. Now, they do see Udyr here in the bot side, so this ping's on the Baron from Team Miku. They might try to sneak away the Baron here before the Dragon spawns. Now, that is a very risky strategy for Miku, but it's a lot of pings, and Udyr still not on the right side of the map. N0 Anonymous in mid lane, maybe providing a little bit of distraction, but now he has to be careful with Boobies. Going very close, did not find the uproot. The Vel'Koz is picked, and this is a disaster. Team Miku still in the Baron, they have to turn away. It's 5v4, they do not have their most fed member, and Wukong is on the flank. Universe Soul, he has it. He's going in, he finds it on it too. Midmont pops the ulti though from Scion, and Shinozaki Rika is clean. But can they do anything else? Prograb does grab Shinozaki Rika, Midmont trying to do what he can to Zerix. Already popped J-Mogs in the backline, DPSing as much as he can do. Universe Soul finally grabs Nightlark as the Scion passive will attempt to get Boobies back, but the stun comes through and he's not going to be able to do it. J-Morgs and Mitmok survive, but Miku, an absolute disastrous play call here on the Baron. Now the health bars are very low, they can't yet do the Baron. Mitmok though still could be in trouble. They do have the Honey Fruit. Universe Soul very low and it's immediately destroyed. Universe Soul just blows up J-Morgs, and now that is the Baron almost certainly in the hands of Universe Soul, the gold lead, which is what they actually are going to back off, so they're not going to go for it just yet with the Soul Dragon spawning. Finally, N0 is back up, but a bunch of picks on a Team Miku. A very good flank from Universe Soul, and they're right back in this game. 4K gold lead be damned. We're down to just over 1,000 gold in the red for Universe Soul. Plenty of room to breathe. Kaisa getting a ton of gold in that fight. Absolutely massive now on the pick. This game might start getting scary for Miku if the picks keep coming in onto Vel'Koz. That is by far the most important member at the current time. By far their highest damage output, and Vel'Koz, among all other things, is extremely hard to play for the reason of his positioning is one of the most critical things about him. He is very immobile. He has almost no self-heal at close ranges. So you have to be very careful when you can't be on the flank like you are now. He is on the flank again. Boobies finds him. N0 Anonymous picked off again. Universe Soul will not let him do anything, as this is for the Soul Dragon as well. Team Miku having flashbacks to Friday, where their team continued to get picked off on Soul Point. But Mitmok still not going to give up. He's going for the contest. Universe Soul under fire. Gets a 3-man knockup with the ultimate, but this Dragon's already secured. Do Miku want to take the fight? Sion going to try to go for knockup. Mitmok looking for program, but he has the egg. Now the ulti coming through from Seraphine to buy some room for Mitmok. J-Morgs finally finds Miku in the backside. Universe Soul into the fray. The root's there, the knockup's there. Mitmok has too much healing. But Revix on the backside grabs himself J-Morg as well. Ended up being a 2 for 2 overall. So even on the trade, but the Dragon does go the side of Universal, and that does mean they're going to get scaled. But now the re-engage is coming in from Nightlock. Fantastic wall to stop the Scion ulti, but the Nivea is still put into the egg form. Nightlock, though, just stuck in no man's land. There is no damage help. TP from N0 way too far away, and the missed coordination again from Team Miku gets try the down. Prokop grabs the Wild Growth, going to get ulted, trying to survive. This Vel'Koz ulti ticking down. Finally goes. The burn is enough off of N0, and now the pings go on the Baron to the side of Team Miku. Again, maybe being on the more overzealous side of things, but we will have to see. Sivir just getting out of base. They're going to try to clear out some vision control here. Udyr is on the map. Universal is on the map. N0 finally around for the objective, and Miku will be the ones to start up this initial Baron. Still going to take a long time to burn down. Sivir just getting to the fray, and Wukong in these situations can be a very, very dangerous foe, but it doesn't look like they either A, know that they're on Baron, or B, think they can contest. And Miku will get away with a clean Baron after the fight in mid, which secured the Anivia for the Scion. Now, for Miku and for Universe, still 3 minutes on that soul point, still for Miku. Universal, we're going to be looking to contest that one again. Miku does have all 5 Barons. They can put Scion in a side lane. They can group up as 4, group up as 3, put Vel'Koz in a side lane. Or no, Vel'Koz doesn't have TP, so probably not a good idea. But do a 4-1, something along those lines. Push this Baron, try to exploit some of Universal's champions and get some objectives down. You still have a lot of standing golden turrets with the tier 2s. Have the Baron buff. I'd like to see Miku make some use of it. They did a very good job getting it away from Universe. Make sure they get it cleanly. They don't take a fight over it. And now they have the champion with the Moonstone working on that Staff of Flowing Water to really come online. And then they'll be able to do something. Nightlark here, split pushing in the top lane, able to try to get some pressure on, keep the Universe Soul himself occupied. As mid lane the push continues, and Nivea and Kai'Sa are going to have tons of ways to clear that one out. So going to be continual battle in that regard. Looks like Miku wants to transition bot lane, but with Udyr there, a little bit hard to walk through the jungle. Yeah, but they are going to start sending some people into the bot side of the map to start getting that tier 2 also ticked out. So Miku trying to get some stuff to across the line, but Nightlark is getting all in here by Universal. Has a second proc, the ultimate skill to use here. Grabs it. Nightlark falling very low. The armor shred is doing so much work, as well as the Ravenous Universal just picking away. The side ulti, though, is too quick, and you're overextended, but is true. Now that's 2 in the top lane. Nobody really left here of strength to defend against this bot lane. The tier 2 is found as Bitmock. Looking for some picks. Does get picked up for himself, but loses about a quarter of his health with Nivea and Kai'Sa, respectively, as Boobies has made his way back into this bottom lane. Now, Vel'Koz has used on disruption, so they can't self-push up the Udyr anymore. And again, they do get a second turret for the troubles, but Universal with the Udyr recall, able to go back and defend. They trade for tier 1 top side. And can continue to kind of take camps, do what they need to do, keep farming up. Dragon is in a minute 8, so I think a lot of Miku's team really needs to take a reset here, spend some of their standing gold. If we do a gold check in here, yeah, J-Mork sitting on almost 2,000 gold. Really needs to back here before this Dragon spawns. 1,000 on Kurika, you have 600 on Mitlock. On the other side, Anivia sitting on 1,000. Revek sitting on 1,100. There's a lot of gold that needs to be spent here before this Dragon comes up. And this one, again, pretty pivotal matchup. We're going to have to see. I need this Vel'Koz to not get picked off from Miku. That's been how they've been being caught out so many times. And once again, we see N0 alone on the bottom side without a team. This is such a dangerous position to be as Vel'Koz. As Boobies is right there once again looking for that Turbo Chem Tank. The flank for Vel'Koz is just not the area he needs to be. He needs heal. He needs people to kind of take some abilities for him almost. Oh, that's so sad. 1 HP on the buff again. That's unlucky. As Mitlock just going to try to zone out here. Has to be careful on the Olaf. Doesn't want to get picked off before this Dragon spawns. Just wants to enable the team to poke. Instead, they're going to look for the fight early. Mitlock already down to half HP. The ulti used from Shino's Rico, but Boobies is already in the backline on the end here. The ult canceled. Universal is in the backline as well. Two switches on. Revek comes diving into the fight. And this might be the fight Universe is looking for. N0 burning very low. Mitmock finally grabs the Lulu as Revix dominating, so it's still 4v3 in favor of Miku, but the Vel'Koz is down to Universal, fighting Shinozaki Rika, can't grab the kill though, the exhaust barely enabled as the root comes through. Now Universal in some trouble, goes back in, Mitmock goes unstoppable as J-Morg's 1v2ing against Boobies and Revix. Boobies goes down, Revix maybe next on the menu. Now the Ecom Proc finds the Q and hits a lot of damage onto J-Morg. Revix now on his own still. Nightlark full HP looking for this Kaisa. Kaisa going away, looking for it, finds the double kill, the outplay, but he can't get away from the AoE and Scion. Nightlark finally able to finish off. Revix stood out for as long as he could. It is going to be a very bloody fight, but Miku does end up with the Mountain Soul. And now, once again, 1 minute 25 seconds until the Baron's on the map. Is back to around a 4K gold lead for Team Miku. As this game is looking to probably go in for quite a few more minutes at this point with how close these fights are getting. Revix is very, very strong on Kaisa. 4 completed items already done. 10 and 3. Universal also doing a pretty solid job on the Wukong, getting some engage here. And now, Mitmock in possibly trouble here. There's Boobies looking for the pick. Olaf, though, pretty freaking tanky at this point. Has the Spirit Massage as well as a Sterex Gauge and a Gore Drinker, so feeling pretty good about checking into a lot of things. Blue buff is secured by Vel'Koz as well, so let's get that. Now the engage coming in, interestingly enough, by Nightlark. Not really sure his look was there. Good job from Universal to kind of back away from that one. That was a pretty interesting use of the Scion ultimate. Now we have some resets coming in from Team Miku, spending a bit of the gold they've accrued. Vel'Koz grabbing a stopwatch for this Baron fight. Big purchase actually for that one. As the Baron dance shall commence at the 33-minute marker. Gold lead has advanced to around 5,000 gold now for Team Miku following the Soul fight. Picking up quite a bit of farm and wave and whatnot, and they grab control of mid lane. They still have their tier 1 up, so very easy for them to push this out. And the Baron looks to be the next contest point as Miku continually going, but Mitmock possibly caught out here, looking on Squishy Beans, but the rest of the team in short order around Mitmock, possibly into trouble. Can walk around the Anivia wall though, so Procraft does not find the pick. Does burn away the Mountain Soul, but that'll be coming back here in just a few seconds. Has a lot of ping pit fights. I'm not sure if that's the play here. Universal is in the bot lane, split pushing, has the teleport. Miku might look to just force the Baron instead as they see Udyr going towards him. J-Morgs puts one hand on the Baron, but it's immediately warded out with a blue trinket from Revix. So that one's not going to be able to contest it. And it's still the split push of Wukong in the bot lane. Continuing to get some objectives. Going to grab this tier 1 in bot for pretty much no trouble at all. They see Boobies recall, but the ward is down. They're going to start up the Baron instead. So Miku looks for it. Mitmock going to try to peel off, but he is the jungler, so he doesn't want to go down just yet. Instead, it's going to be him just zoning away the whole team. Universal has to see it. Grabs the double knockup, uses up the chain. Trouble, can't get the ulti off, and finally gets it off, and only hits 2 on the back line. J-Morg now doing some damage. Vel'Koz also nowhere to be found just yet in this fight. Finally grabs one in Revix, and has to be careful. The stun comes through, and now Universal grabs a double kill. The healing is there. The Q from Sivir, though, finally will secure Procraft. Try to kite away, but it is an Olaf he's trying to kite away from, and those actually do quite a bit of work. So it ends up being a 3 for 2 in favor on the side of Team Miku. They still have their AD carry and their tank, so potentially can still look to do the Baron here as most of the important members from Universal are down. Now, Mitmock and company going to continue to burst down this Baron. It's just Miku to really contest. No one else is updated. Universal also no TC. So Miku going to grab their second Baron of the game. They're not going to really bother holding him for the Vel'Koz as Nightlark looking for a pick, but Squishy Bean's going to be able to get away. Whoa, that's a lot of damage. And Nightlark finds the solo kill on a Squishy Beans. Apparently the full tank Scion does do quite a bit when you hit the Ultimate Hunter. The Ultimate. I misspeak. But another Baron for Team Miku gets it on 4 as Seraphine did respawn by then. Elder is up in 2 minutes time. So going to have to use the Baron effectively in short order to get some pressure on the map, continue to build advantage, and then be able to win this Elder fight, because that's pretty much going to be the game at this point. If you get Mountain Soul, Elder, it is a very slow burning game. We're in at the 40-minute marker, but Miku feeling pretty good about it right now. They take Oli, but they're getting another engage. He's not going to get blocked away from Universal. There comes the engage from Remix. He does grab the Oli, but it's only on a Procrap. Now Booby's getting the re-engage onto J-Morg. Mitmach goes dominating, finds an Nibby as the rest of the team was cutting away, and now that is a killing spree for J-Morg. Universal stuck in no man's land, tries to ease away, but found out by Mitmach. Universal looking for N0, but he will also be taken down. And now that's 3 quick kills for Miku. And they're going to be able to push it down mid lane here for certain. Rebix, the last one line, does have some wave clear, but it's not going to matter because dive potential of Scion, Olaf, Vel'Koz with Mountain Soul. Very, very scary. Now that is almost certainly mid inhibitor. Top wave also cuts if they want to try to go grab top turret, but it is the Elder Drake in 55 seconds, and it looks like Miku picking to try to go for some Nexus turrets. They might look to just end the game right here. I'm not saying they have the time. It's looking up at 8, moves up at 10. Grabbing one turret, grabbing 2. Yeah, Miku just going to look for the end. Elder, not even a thought on their minds as Rebec's going to go down. They need to start hitting this Nexus though as the Streetbox coming in. They do. Miku taking game 1. Nexus will fall as my screen freezes, and it will be the first game over to Team Miku. I have no idea if he did LDR second peanut ball, but he does have it in his inventory. Yep, 1-0 over the side of Team Miku so far. Very well played game. Universe did the best they could at some good engages, but the Vel'Koz two-fed too early in the game, doing around 1,000 damage per minute. So pretty bopping on the Vel'Koz despite having a lot of mid-game blunders. Miku with picks and such. Miku still end up coming out ahead. They find the fights they need to in the late game and convert some Barons, convert some Drakes, get the Soul, and they come out on top for game 1. So we'll be getting in here to game 2 in just a minute. While I reset some graphics and stuff, we're going to take a quick intermission here on the cast. And we'll be back in with you guys in just a second. Thanks for sticking around, and don't miss game 2.
always on the outside, through a window looking in. Never the right time, so the chance goes by again. Lines begin.
All right, hello and welcome back everybody to the PSU LCS for Game 2 of Universe versus Team Miku. Game 1 going to Team Miku so far. So we're waiting to get in the draft. Both teams getting their matching icons ready. Oh boy, we're doing one of these ones. And we'll be getting a draft here in just a second. There we go. First ban away from Universe going to be Echo, interestingly enough. So instead they're just going to ban the mid lane, it looks like, this time around. Grabbing Echo and Vel'Koz away from N0. Try to take away the problems. Zillion and Aurelia still the bans. And finally, Karthus for Universe. The final takeaway here tonight. And Hecker, I'm going to be the final takeaway from Miku. Not going to let that powerful jungle pick go first. And Universal with first pick can do what they want. Probably look for some high techs. Udyr still available. Instead, they're going to take away the Sivir as well. So Sivir, pretty high priority so far in our little series thus far. Words are hard. Words are really hard. And Miku probably going to look for the ADC pick here. We might see something like the Kai'Sa. I might see it lean more towards them going with a Jhin pick here, if I'm being entirely honest. Instead, they're going to take the Shen first pick, so Aki finally getting back on his primary top laner. Or Nightmare, sorry. Yeah. My roommate yells doxed. Unlucky. Either way, gonna take the Shen. Alistar also being covered here. Do not want the powerful Sivir Alistar combo going away, so it's going to be Alistar this time for Shinozaki going with the engage support. So you do have that coming in for Game 2. Looking for a little more of an aggressive composition maybe than the Seraphine in Game 1. Universal could also go with support and top lane here. B2, B3. Seraphine is available, so Universal gonna take that one this time around. Bit of a flip on drafts in some degrees, but maybe look to go top counter pick here for Universal himself. Wukong is still available if he wants to go back to that route. Jax is also available. Is another pick he's been known to play. Vayne is available here for Game 2 if he wants to go with an AD carry top lane. Instead, they're going to lock in Cho'Gath, actually. It's Rammus. It is not Cho'Gath. It is Rammus. So, Rammus technically still a flex pick between mid and top. Not entirely a one-sided ordeal. So Cho'Gath is Rammus. Now Miku looking to pick here. They're going to go back, possibly the Olaf. So very strong composition coming together so far. If they do go, they are going to lock in the Olaf. Lots of engage, lots of good targets for Shen to put his R on to really enable some backline dive. And the Vayne is immediately taken away. Maybe trying to force the Rammus into the jungle, perhaps. Now Rammus does give some interesting questions if it is top lane versus the Shen, which I actually think it is, potentially. Is still a very hard time either top or jungle for the J-Morks to play around as an AD carry. They're going to take away some of the more mixed damage AD carries that can do a lot of damage to Rammus. Kai'Sa being one of the primary benefactors of that, having a lot of AP damage in with her kit. Of course, you look back 1-2 seasons ago, she was building quite a bit of AP in her build already with the Nashor's Tooth. If you guys remember all the way back then, I'm sure you do. And it looks like Swain hubbed the ban, both of which are pro-craft areas of expertise. And now Universe with one more ban on the table can look to pinch away that mid pool more or continue to take away the meta ADCs. Jin, a possible pick away here for Universal. Take that away from J Morgs. Senna as well, we saw earlier today, do very, very well at the hands of Vale. On 2014 for the most part. Instead, they're going to take away the Tristana, so taking away the mid-bot flex from R4. A little bit suspicious considering you do have the Olaf, and instead Ezreal going to be locked away, so going with a very safe AD carry here in bot lane with the Alistar. Of course, does have quite a bit of scaling still. The new Essence Reaver Duskblade build, very strong. With a lot of the squishier targets on Universal going to be a lot of damage. Does beg the question of who's really going to kill this Rammus? Because Ezreal is not normally the person who can DPS down the armored Dillo. A lot of his stuff relies on hitting Vixen. That's a Kayle lock-in for top lane versus Shen. I've said before that Universal is the carry of this team, but they're really putting the onus on him. Look on the Kayle pick. An actual just late game hyper carry in the top lane. So will be the Rammus in the jungle. Now Swain in mid lane as well to round out Universal's composition. English. I can speak it. Now Miku with one more pick to try to do a counter. They are going to go with the Victor to try and go with some area denial for Universal, but that will be both teams' final compositions locked in top to bot lane for both teams. Universal on blue side is going to be Kayle, Rammus, Swain, Sivir, and Seraphine, where Team Miku is going with Shen, Olaf, Victor, Ezreal, and Alistar. Both these teams definitely going a bit of a different route from game one, as we are still waiting on that final ready check for the actual draft. Get over to that screen, going over a bit of the compositions a bit again. Both teams, this is one of those ones I said last time in draft. Both have their win cons. I will favor Universal very heavily though in the later portion of the game. Yeah, I've lost my track of thought there. I'm so sorry. Solo casting is a thing. I am not particularly good at it, but very late game focused comp here for Universal. You do have the Kayle, you do have the Seraphine who are going to scale extremely hard throughout the game. Rammus getting tankier as well. Swain also does very well in the later portion of the game. Gets a lot of health scaling off of his passive and becomes an absolute menace when he is both tons of damage and also too tanky to kill. Kayle, no further introduction needed, and you do have also Sivir with the 300 CS win con should you go the AD build, not the lethality build. Team Miku looking for a little bit more, I think, of a mid-game with this Olaf pick and the Alistar Shen. Shen, of course, going to be perfectly fine in early game lane, but once Kayle hits 6, going to have a pretty hard time given once Universal gets some range over him. But Shen, of course, never really looking to play for lane, looking to play a lot for the bot and mid side of the map in plays around their fights, their picks, what have you. Of course, could see an Olaf Shen combo up in top lane and just really try to put this Kayle in the dirt early game. Kayle, despite being, I think, a lot better than pre-rework, still is super duper vulnerable to a lot of early dives, a lot of early ganks. There's really not much the champion does, especially when she's melee. Has to farm a lot with her E. So will probably need some help in the early game if she wants to really get ahead. Of course, Mitmach could look to get N0 or J-Morgs further ahead and try to go with that route to the win. ProCraft not looking the greatest on the Anivia last game, bit of a rough go. Hopefully on the Swain, a bit more of a comfort pick, gonna show a lot more. Of course, into Victor, very strong champion in his own right, can be pretty difficult. round out the draft here. Gonna be a little bit of a one. Not too often we see a Rammus in a competitive 5v5 setting. Is pretty solid in solo queue right now, actually. Not doing too horrible. Not the worst jungle pick ever, especially when you rely on a lot of AD damage to get done. Mid-Mach possibly having some trouble on the Olaf with the Rammus in the later portion of the game, given Rammus just gets absurdly tanky. And of course, Ezreal and Victor both very susceptible to the Rammus taunt off of the flash combo. Seraphine ulti also going to be very pivotal in this game. Can go off the Rammus, can go off the Sivir ulti as well, just like it did in Game 1 on the side of Team Miku. So you do have that engage as well. All in all, Universe's composition, especially past 20 minutes, especially on the 3 items, plus looking incredibly scary here. Kale alone would be scary in that instance. He's done the Sivir, Swain, and Seraphine, and not talking about the Rammus yet. Very scary comp you put together here. I'm a little bit worried for Miku on the damage front. Ezreal, right now, generally speaking, you pick him against a lot squishier compositions that he can still go and one-shot with the WQ combo or WEQ and do a ton of damage with lethality. Really, the only 2 people he's going to be able to do that with is Sivir and Seraphine. Kale can be susceptible to that, but also has the ultimate, also going to be a lot of healing innately in the kit. So, it will be very interesting to see how J-Morg is able to pilot this game. Of course, can get ahead and get leads bot lane. Will just be a little bit difficult. I don't see anyone really killing Rammus other than maybe Olaf and Victor, which, again, as you go later on in this game, Universe Soul is going to become more and more scary with those champions. Not to say Team Miku doesn't have opportunities. Mid-Mach, going to have full reign in the early game. Victor should be good in mid lane early on. Swain should be easy to gank for Mid-Mach early on. Shen, Nightlark on Shen, going to be perfectly fine in Universe Soul for the first 6 levels, and then we'll have to be really scared. There's actually a really good potential gank here for Boobies early game to try to stun up Nightlark and allow Universal to get an early kill, which really catapults Kale ahead in the scaling department. So there is that worry, but you also do have a little bit of a different look from Shinazaki support. Shinazaki on support, sorry. Going on the Alistar this time, going with a bit more of an engage heavy support where if you get into the enemy team, you're not going to die instantly. You actually have a good bit of CC. The question is, into Rammus, Swain, and Seraphine ultimate, is it going to be enough to really make it worthwhile? We saw the Lulu be more or less pretty ineffective with the wild growth in Game 1 from Squishy Beans. We'll have to see if going some more of the engage route like the Alistar will have a better impact, because Swain and Rammus kind of want you coming into them anyway. It'll be a little bit interesting to see Alistar, though, also with a lot of peel for Rammus, and Swain can headbutt him away from carries, so going to be a very interesting game to see here. Once you start getting, though, like I said, into the later portion of the game, into 30-plus minutes, into 3+ items, I'm going to say Universe pretty heavily favored here for Game 2. We still have a minute left on the spectator delay. I don't personally have too much else to talk about on these compositions. Again, both are scary in their own ways, in their own rights. We'll have to see. I think if either of these teams is a substantial early lead, it's going to become very hard for the other team to play, just like in Game 1. Mid lane is definitely something you can, mid-top lane is something you can definitely play around with if you're Team Miku, with around Olaf, around Victor, who has a lot of priority, around Shen, who's going to be able to bully Kale out early. So there are a lot of options still for Team Miku in Game 2. We have 17 seconds left on spectator delay. How's everyone's days going? How has it been as we get into our 4th game here of the night for Penn State League of Legends, the PSU LCS? How's everyone doing? Fine Sunday evening, got all your homework done? No last night homeworkers? Excuse me. Hiccups. I am solo casting, so, I mean, someone can hop in if they really want to, if you're a verified caster, but otherwise, I am okay. It's not my first rodeo at this side of things. Where did my YouTube tab go? There we go. close that draft music because we are into game 2, Universe Soul versus Team Miku. And we're going to have both teams squaring off here yet again. Universe Soul, I don't believe, has been 0-2'd yet this split, unless there's been a match against 5-inch Ghost Gods that I haven't seen yet. So we'll have to see how they do here in their first potential 0-2 situation. Another potential 0-2 situation. They've gone 1-1 a few times.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
So we'll see here as Invade comes through. Revix able to sidestep Mitmock in disbelief that axe missed. The sidestep from Revix too clean. And it's the immediate recall from the Miku squad. They know they have failed. They know it is doomed. They have been outskilled, bot diffed by Revix's immense sidestep.
Minions have spawned.
And for now, off of what could have been a very spicy invade, not going to go super in depth. This is going to end up being a 5-point. Is some deep vision in the Raptors brush for the side of Universal. Going to be able to track some of Olaf's pathing. Mitmock, though, going to be starting on the blue buff. So both junglers starting bot side. This will be a topside skull contest. The first we've seen this series, of course, first game, both junglers going to opposite sides of the map. So Olaf definitely favored in the early levels versus Rammus, as you would generally expect from an Olaf. Very strong early game champion. Both these junglers more than likely going for full clear as well, so Mitmock should be ahead in that regard as well. Olaf clears much faster than Rammus, especially in the early game. Rammus cleared pretty slow early on, has to rely a lot on just his armor to tank up, and takes a lot of time to do some of these camps, so Mitmock does have the potential to get a very strong lead in the early game on the clear speed, be able to get some really big stuff down the map, possibly even look to counter jungle the Rammus on his Gromp. In either event, though, going forward so far, both all lanes pretty quiet here as we are stuck on direct with camera in the bottom lane. Squishy Bean's walking up pretty far. She was actually we get to not find the Q. And now Nightlark looking to trade a bit. The Universe Soul has the bone plane, so won't take as much damage as maybe he could have otherwise, but finally Team Miku's bot lane hitting level 2. Now Nightlark on the 3 did not find the not Dash, that's Aatrox. Not find the Shadow Dash. And now, again, pretty much the wall save. All these lanes perfectly fine with farming. Looks like J-Morgs and she's like, we're gonna try and go for, never mind, going for a bit of an engage here. Squishy Beans knocked up, and she's actually gonna have to back away on the Alistair. Good mid lane from Throwcraft, showing a little bit more comfort on the champion. And now Olaf looking to go into the Rammus jungle, finds the blue buff, does get it. The blue buff stolen away from Boobies, and now Mitmock looking for the solo kill. Boobies needs to burn the flash to get away. Yep, there it is. And the first blood still comes through. The full range axe. Mitmock with the solo kill in the enemy jungle. Gonna grab blue buff and Gromp off of that Rammus. A huge play for the Olaf in this early game, and I talked about it beforehand. Miku needed to get stuff done early to be able to really come ahead. This Olaf is going to be an absolute monster in comparison. Instead of going for Crab, this Alpha Chad jungle going immediately for the mid lane gank. Crab also burning his splash. That's 2 down for Mitmock. As bot lane, Shizakariya going in on Squishy Beans. Ignite is down on the Seraphine, but Shizakariya going very low as well. Has to flash away. A little bit too much damage there coming from the Seraphine Sivir. And J-Morgs possibly jumbles those. Shizakariya does not get tagged by the Q. And now the bot crab gonna be secured, so Mitmock gonna be able to double skill as well here. Because Rammus on the bot side of the map, re-clearing second spawning of the Krugs. And now bot lane possibly looking for a gang attempt. Rammus is in the area, Alistair has back, so this is a little bit risky for Miku. J-Morgs also getting poked very low, as Revix is looking for a little bit more damage. J-Morgs managed to side to the second frog of the cube, and now Olaf is in the lane. Revix does get tagged again. No mana on really either of these champions. Squishy Beans is, yeah, just dead. Goodbye. Mitmock able to grab that one as Revix looking for the kill on a J-Morgs, but J-Morgs just grabs a solo kill instead, and it is an absolute slaughter in the bot lane. now with Mitmok coming out 2-0 on the Olaf. 5 minutes in the game. We got 3 kills already. We are double the pace of game 1 already. And massive advantage here for Team Miku thus far. Rammus finally catching up a little bit on the clear speed, but Olaf immediately going to first dragon at just 5:30 in the game. So pretty much an almost off-spawn dragon take by Team Miku as well. Immediately stacking on that soul win condition. So this is very well done by Team Miku. Getting the early objective, knows the bot lane's coming off the reset, knows that mid lane is resetting due to their vision for Victor. Rammus can't contest them at all. So 3 first dragon over. They have that advantage there. They've gotten some kills bot lane. Top lane actually doing fairly well for Universal. Started the blasting wall, so it does have quite a bit of damage thus far in the game. But Nightlark now taking 6 on Shen means that Stand United is ready and available. So even if this Olaf charges a little bit too far over his head, which Mitchbox has tended to do in the past, wouldn't put it past him. A bit of a Hillis saying of a jungler. Get some extra safety there as Procraft still just farming up in his mid lane. Did go for the sword boost rush, which is pretty interesting. Going for a lot of early damage. Wouldn't be surprised here. Verdant Barrier really smurfing for Victor to purchase at this point in the game. You got triple AP topside, pretty much, because this Kale is going AP. Rammus is mostly AP damage. So Verdant Barrier on Victor, really smurfed by. Would really like to see it as Mitmok going for the kill on Procraft here. Flashing forward, has the Ragnarok already and State United as well. It's not even needed. The overkill is there. And N0 Anonymous, the Victor, able to pick up another kill for Team Miku. And we already have almost a 2K gold in just 6 minutes. Miku coming out of the gate, sprinting in the game 2. And maybe that's the pressure of having the Kale on the enemy team. Maybe that's the pressure, the feel of wanting to go 2-0 in this series to really boost themselves up in the playoff standings. But they've been playing phenomenally so far in this game. Now, Kale is quite ahead in farm top lane, so that is a point of worry for Team Miku. Nightlark having a bit of trouble here on the Shen, about 10 CS down on Shen into Kale. And now that Kale is 6, Universal gonna have a lot of pressure here in top lane. To be able to poke out Shen, really cause him to have some trouble here, as it is a 2-level advantage in the jungle for Mitmok right now. Finally a backing for the first time this game. Immediately picks up a spiked whip and phage. And now bit of a lull state once again. Next Dragon up for 240. Kale has been allowed to farm up pretty much uncontested here top lane as big engage from Shizaki Rika grabs Deuce, which means no ult yet available on the Seraphine, but Shizaki Rika also very low. J-Morx has to be careful, taking one of the Q, did not come second, but Conquer is fully stacked, so he's doing quite a bit of damage, but here comes Booby. The counter engage coming in, J-Morx is trying to go for the kill. Great flash away from the Rammus, as now the TP coming in from Victor. Shizaki Rika trying to peel for J-Morx, but J-Morx already going very low. The Dreadbuff ticking down as Boobies grabs the kill. And now N0 looking for it, but Procraft has arrived down as well, coming out from the mid lane. Great counterplay bot lane from the side of Universe as they bring 4 down, able to grab Rivik out alive. That will be enough to dissuade any further action. J-Morx will be the only one to fall in the fight. Boobies does grab a kill, as Kale does flash top lane. I didn't get to see that fight because of the action bot lane, but very good play. Universal trying to get some leverage back in the game. They don't really have to, and actually I like the more responsive play they're making, as this is really risky from Universal. He has vision, so knows Mitmok is there, just securing Gromp for Boobies. Not really wanting to fight with Shen right now. He's just going to go over there. Riptail continue to start getting more objectives for Team Miku's side, trying to get some plating gold, continue to try to snowball some of this game. As yeah, Nightlark, this feels pretty bad at this point. You're pretty good amount of you're 20 CS down on a Kale at the moment. Shen, you do have an ultimate that really helps you get around the map, make plays, help your team out, but Kale solo scaling is not really what you want to see, especially on debatably one of Universal's strongest carries. It is a bit concerning, the gold lead now, stabilizing more around 1.6k after the bot lane play, but Just gonna be waiting here. It's 40 seconds on the Drake spawn, and Zero Anonymous grabbing that bot side skill for some vision as Mitmock probably gonna be taking him back here after the Krugs to come down to the Drake. And the game just everyone just holding their buttons, not wanting to really press too much, go for too much before this Drake spawn in 20 seconds. Of course, Miku really wants to get this one, continue to try to stack for an own soul to really push this game in their favor. Does have to be Infernal or Mountain Soul once again. So, are going to be liking that one in this game. As bot lane, maybe a play for bot lane. Seems like Riga might be caught out. Good as well through the bottom time as generally comes out. It seems like Riga, but it's way too late. And now that's one down. Mitmock is on the backside, but it's still 4v2. Victor is not getting through the fight. Mitmock trying to get onto Revix, grabs one. No, the healing from Seraphine actually a lot. Seraphine knows he misses everybody. And now Booby's into trouble. Procap finally has to pop. The other has to flash away. Victor able to grab it with the Chaos Storm. Another flash away from Squishy Beans. Procap gets in trouble. Good gravity well from Victor to grab it. Procraft, the E! He's able to find the kill. And that ends up being another trade back with Mitmock still with the Herald. Might look for the dive here on his Squishy Beans and Procraft. Both those health bars very, very low. Instead, we'll just go look for the Dragon. And top lane. A little bit of a fight here. Universal does get taunted under tower, but does trade back quite effectively. Is, of course, a ranged champion now, so pretty darn strong as Procraft and Squishy Beans look to possibly try to J-Morgs though just pops! Squishy Beans and Procraft is soon to follow. You do not check this. Ezreal, my golly, 3-1 now on the champion. The Arcane shifts over the wall to grab 2. Dragon as well secured for Team Miku. And while the bot lane fight was fairly even overall, that certainly tips it in Miku's favor as now Ezreal very strong on the pick. Universal though grabbing place top lane. 40 CS lead on the Kale is pretty insane. So now we do have, but again, we're probably gonna go over another wall state here. Seems like Rigo might be picked up, but he does have the headbutt to get away. And we still do have the Ripped Herald. I'd like to see it pop in the next minute and a half to really get that value out of the plating gold, but it doesn't have to. Can just save it, but is there try going on? Good knockup by Shizaki Riga. Squishy Beans gone. There's no way. They tried to donate over the Ezreal, but Shizaki Riga eventually grabs it. That's why Mitmock didn't take the kill as he gets pulled back by Procraft. So a bit of an interesting kill distribution there. Would like to see Mitmock maybe take that one, but Shizaki Riga not going to complain about the gold. And it's another pick again for Team Miku. Just continue to try to accelerate the game, continue to try to get picks, get gold where they can. As Ezreal's in the bot lane by himself, really, being able to out-pressure J-Morgs getting the upper hand in that matchup once again. In mid lane, some more plates following as Revix in some trouble. Mitmock there burns the spell shield, but doesn't block. It only blocks the headlock, and Mitmock grabs the kill. Another pick for Team Miku. And it is more or less disarray for the side of Universe everywhere but top lane. And Mitmock gets picked back under tower. Procraft does have the ultimate to be a pretty hard dive. Opposite finally, and Zero Anonymous actually taking a ton of tower damage. Past Secret Area for him. He hits, but Mitmock has already got one kill. Procraft not able to grab it onto the Victor, and Mitmock grabs another, looking for third as Squishy Beans walks in on the Olaf. But the slows are there, so he's just gonna flash the mastery and wait to proxy. We're proxying mid on this Olaf. We are proxying mid lane on Olaf. Either way, Universal still getting a sizable lead. Top lane 35 CS up. We've got 3 plates of solo gold.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
So, pretty strong there. As now, Team Miku dominating almost a little bit of, almost 7,000 gold lead at 14 minutes in the game. We saw, now that is pretty commanding. However, we do have a lot of scaling on the side of Universe, and we've seen someone come back with just as much earlier today, which saw it before Watanabe in 2014's, I believe it was game 2. Some really whack gold lead swings. So, although it is a incredibly strong opening here for Miku and should be a secure game with a Kale, with a Swain, with a Sivir, it's not yet set in stone. We do not have a Malphite in this game, so therefore no stone has been set. Universal now taking 11 on Kale. Starting to hit those power spikes, has the Nasher's Tooth already. So that has been confirmed as in. And now, I'm actually here possibly a rough situation as Universal is in the fight, has the rank 2 ultimate, has first item completion. And now, another lull to hit. Still a minute till the next dragon. Miku definitely be looking at that one. Mitmock though is top lane for before Dragon spawn, where they were looking at Kale. Instead they're gonna go for Herald. I'm not sure if I like this play when Dragon's up in 50 seconds. Gives a pretty good opportunity for Universe to go set up the Dragon for themselves. So not super keen. Second Rift Herald not nearly as important as the ultimate second. Sorry if I'm quiet there. My mic just moved on its own. Must have hit it. And yeah, I'm not really sure this Herald got on pretty quickly for this to be really worthwhile in my opinion. Now, finally we get the transition to bot lane. Might actually just pop Herald mid try to track with J-Morx into trouble. Boobies doesn't find it. Great arcane shift from J-Morx to get out of the sticky situation. If that pick comes through, that might certainly be a really bad one for Dragon. Instead, Herald is top mid lane already, so trying to force Universe to spawn Mitmock though, possibly overstaying a bit. That's the whole team coming down, and he is needed for the Dragon. J-Morx though, already on it from Mitmock. Just looking for a kill if he can get it. Procraft flashing away with Kale ulti, but he's still ultimate as well. Squishy Beans finds two with the ultimate. Nightlark now in the fight as well in the shed, but he's getting burned down just as quick as he came in. Procraft finally grabs the kill, but 300 gold goes over to N0 as he grabs one as Swain. Final return, Universal going very low, does not have the ultimate. Chaos Storm, flash for it, N0 looking for it, finally grabs it. The kill confirmed on the Universal. The Kale not yet scaled up enough, but now Mitmock into trouble, doesn't have the ultimate, grabs some healing up the Gordricker, and he has to skedaddle. But Procraft ready to pull back in, doesn't want to bring the Olaf any closer. And it's both Dragon, tier 2 mid lane, and now possibly Inhibitor turret at 17 minutes in the game. For Miku, they will not go for the Inhibitor turret yesterday, they will go away. I kind of want them to push that, just because you get that Inhibitor turret down, you have to defend that mid lane all the time, before 20 minutes. And now Miku have a commanding 9,000 gold lead against Universe here in Game 2. An absolutely incredible early game performance here from Mitmock, from N0, from J-Morg, and now Mitmock is looking for the 1v1 on Kale, has the ultimate, but Kale might be a bit more than he bargained for. Never mind, it's an Olaf. Sterix Cage is a cool item. And now we have a booby. J-Morg finally caught in the bot lane. Taunt comes through this time. The arcade chip wasn't fast enough. J-Morg also turns the flash. Shutdown goes over on a Procraft, and they do pick off the Miku ADC. Universal still getting some gold back on that to shut down over on the Procraft. Gonna be a boon for this champion. Interesting enough, going with the Riftmaker over the Leandri's Torment still gives you a similar effect, but I've seen the Leandri's more often on the Swain. Not the worst pick in the world, but certainly not the most common. And now we do get Nightlark to split push bot lane. Hopefully get that tier 1 here soon. For terms of item break points, we do have N0 going on to Revix here. That's a lot of damage from Victor. Gravity well on top of him. Yeah, Revix is just dead, and the ADCs have both picked up in the bottom lane. That is a very strong 5-1 Victor. Leandri's plus Cosmic Drive completed is an incredibly good power spike. Mostly the Mythic's getting it completed. If not, you're getting second items in. Ezreal's doing the weird build. You're still looking for a Mythic onto Shed as he went the Boost Rush. Kale still also looking for a Mythic. Looking to go back to actually do the AD build. So going with a little less AP as Squishy Bean DCs from the game. Reconnects, but is already in the knockup. This is an awkward situation. Oh, boy. That solid play incoming, just dipped out immediately. Didn't want to have any of it, but if we're looking at the game right now, still around 9k gold lead here for Team Miku. Looking very strong so far. Baron's up in 1 minute's time. That's going to be probably their next big look. Do have Mountain Soul as well up in 3 minutes. So there's all that as well. I don't got too much to talk about here. It's not too much to talk about. It's been a stop in favor of Miku. Universal is still pretty strong on this kill. Looking to go with the AD build. I'm assuming it's going to be Kraken Slayer. Might decide to go the shield bow to try to get some more sustain, try to feed off, not get insta-killed by the Olaf, by the Victor as hard. Give yourself that little get out of jail free card. But Ram is continuing to stack AD. Swain is actually doing pretty well. Procraft has been picking up some kills, picking up some shutdowns here and there, so might be advancing towards some item breakpoints. And otherwise, so far, Seraphine does have the Moonstone completion, so a little bit of extra healing coming in for the side of Universe. Still a mountain to climb here on Soul Point. 9k gold down. Very rough time of it. I'm going to turn on chat here to see what the heck was up. Lost internet, so some PSU Monka for internet. And with that, I guess we gotta take a little pause for a minute here. Cause I ain't got much to talk about. So enjoy some tunes, because if Felix is talking in chat, we still got 3 more minutes after that, and I ain't talking that whole time. Dom played I've never played Tetris before. I have never played Tetris before. I am not a true Tetris gamer. I'll stream on. Sure, hop in. Well, in regard so far here, we're gonna take a quick intermission on the cast. Stream will still be up, but we are going to just play some tunes in the background. So I'll be back. Alright, we're suddenly back, because I don't know where that counter was, but it definitely wasn't on my screen. In any event, Squishy Beans does get out. So it is still a neck-and-neck game here in Game 2. Baron spawning here in just a few seconds. Let's zoom in on that Mountain Soul for Team Miku. Nightlark still pushing down top lane. Gonna grab the response here from a Universe Soul. And really right now, gonna be a bit of a lull stage. Just kind of waiting on that Soul spawn, waiting on something to break open this game. Nightlark going to grab the tier 1 top lane, so grab a little bit of extra gold in that regard. Still around 9k gold, and yeah, Team Miku is going to start up on the Baron as we get another 2 DCs, and we're going to be paused again. We'll be right back after this intermission. Please hold.
A summoner has
Alright, we should be back here in just a second. As we see the reconnects in. And last time this happened, we had about 20 seconds before game started up again. So, we're back. It's been a minute. Hope y'all are still doing okay. Thank you guys for sticking around for the stream, of course. As we last checked in, Team Miku with a 9k gold advantage is looking to start up the Baron at 20 minutes 30. Just 1 minute and 40 seconds before the Soul. So, excuse me. So, possibly interesting pay here. N0 still looking to get back towards that Baron. And most of Team Universe, sorry, not Team Universe, still getting out of the base here. So still a fair amount of time to this Baron, but not a lot of damage present. Thus far, Victor's coming his way there. A lot of the Universe coming up. I think they have an inkling of what's going on. Pings on to the Baron. This will be a fight, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to come out of the pause, and we are going to come out with a bang. Big Victor ulti onto 3 members. Also looking to come in, but ProCraft gets away from the ultimate. The Baron is secured, but can the rest of Team Miku get out unscathed and make the transition down to the Dragon Pick? It looks like they will. And with that, a free Baron pickup for Team Miku pushes their gold lead to almost 11,000 at just 21 minutes of the game. A dominating lead and performance here so far, but they starting to get a little late in the game. Universal has tick level 12, still working on that second item. Going to take a minute to really get to that late game state, but still, every item that ProCraft, that Revix, that Universal pick up is one more item towards the point where they can start winning team fights by the sheer scaling potential of their teams. Now, Soul Dragon is up in 30 seconds. You got everyone from the Universe team ready to contest for this one. Miku also grouping up around the Dragon Pit. And it will be Team Miku who does that Friday. Now, Shen is still flipping top lane, has both Teleport and Stand United. So has both of those things. They might look for some sort of pick top side. Rammus is actually doing Gromp on Dragon Spawn. This is a little bit of an interesting decision making because you really don't want to give up Soul at this point in the game with this gold lead against you. Yeah, they're just going to look for the pick on Shen instead of going for the Soul, try to eliminate that Baron, it looks like. So Nightlark needs to try to get away here. Taunt comes in. Yeah, Nightlark is most certainly dead, so they will grab the pick, but that is one Baron pick, 1 kill onto Kale for the Soul Drake. You still have 4 Barons. And now you do have a 4 Baron team. Yeah, it's 4v5, but with a 10k gold lead, pretty intimidating feat as Midmok already forced the pop. The only ProCraft going to disengage for now. Midmok actually taking a ton of damage. Jeremy only grabs Ezreal, but it's a charge. Seems like we're going to be on time with the WQ combo. J-Morx finds one, but it's actually one return. Now J-Morx in trouble. The taunt! Universe! He's picking him up. And now Universal looking for Shizaki Rika. The Kale is here, and she is online. Triple kill for the Universe. And now this is where it starts getting scary for Team Miku. 4k gold pops into the pockets of Universe just like that. The Kale is 4 and 2, 3 kills, multiple shutdowns. Level 16 shortly on the way. Universe already sitting on 2k gold as Revix finding himself in another Victor 1v1. Does have to burn the flash this time, so we'll get out of that one. And it is Miku who overcommits really hard. Didn't have Victor available to fight. Was just a 3 Victor. A lot of the damage. Midmok did not do enough of the Olaf. And now, despite the Soul, despite the Baron, despite the early game, Universe, they have a shot at this. They're 8k gold down, so still better than they were. However, Kale is online, and that's a very scary champion to have online. ProCraft as well, good. Boobies has been getting solid engages off on the Rammus in that previous fight. And now without Baron, Miku are going to have to find some way to start breaking the base of Universe. They have a lot of time to kill, so 4 minutes till another Drake, 2.5 till another Baron. You need to start breaking this Vegas before Kale can really come online and Squishy Beans really start getting out a lot of healing with the Seraphine already getting towards the Chemtech Putrefier. So you do have quite a bit of stuff starting to come online for Universe, starting to make itself present, as now the gold lead reduced to 9,000 from almost 11. Victor does pick up the bot lane tier 2, but nothing really else going to be coming of that in the near future. Mitmock. The jungle J-Morgs continue to pick up farm mid. You still need that mythic item onto J-Morgs. Just has the Mirror Mana Essence Reaver, so maybe once he grabs a mythic, going to be a little bit better off, possibly looking towards... He already has a Tiamat in game, so I guess he's going for the Ravenous before he goes for a mythic, which is a little bit on the interesting side, but Ezreal builds weird. He always has built weird, so chat can be the judge of that. And N0 is possibly looking for the 1v1. Universal does have the ultimate, so it is pretty okay for the time being. N0 still does a lot of damage. Is now the full team of Universe looking for the pick onto the Victor, trying to get that 600 gold shutdown. Booby's not able to find anything. And now with them all rotating bot side, top side turret, the target for Miku. Mitmock doing some preliminary scouting and zoning of his own as Ezreal pops the ultimate to grab a lot of that wave. Take that down. Universal also walking up the shed, but Mitmock doing his due diligence. Not going to get picked up here, and that's a lot of damage on the turret, but it is cleared away by the Sivir. So he is starting to come online with an item and a half, and now Boobies is lightning fast the Rammus from across the map instantaneously. And Anonymous still split pushing in that bottom side of the map. Had the TP available if a fight does break out. Then Miku's looking for the reset here. Baron up in 30 seconds is going to be the next point of contention. And Universe, they had the potential to win a fight there. Less than 10k gold down. Still really far behind, but you do have Kale, you have Swain, you have Sivir. You have ways to get through and push your way back into this game now. We saw out of the mid lane inhibitor turret, Universe Soul picks up 3 kills, got the Winsu's Rage Blade now as well. So 3 items on Kale. Shen, meanwhile, only sitting at an item and a half, equivalently. So it is a little bit of a rough patch for the Shen, just kind of an ult bot at this point in the game. A little bit of a tank, but not too much. As the Baron is just being duoed right now. I don't think Universe has really any idea that this is going on. J-Morg and Mitmock are just straight up 2 men on the Baron. They're instead looking to pick bot lane onto N0. Ruby's going first, but cannot get there with the Chemtech for the speed on the Q. Instead, J-Morg's gonna ult top lane, grab a bit of that wave, and Baron slain for free again by Team Miku. No contest from Universe. Not even sure if they knew it was even happening. They have no vision in that area. Now another Baron for Team Miku, another opportunity to attempt to break the base of Universe before these champions start getting 2 online. Universe has done a good job so far in stagnating any advances by Team Miku. They've been trying to keep the gold lead somewhat even, but Elder is up in just 48 seconds. And even with Kale, there's not really much you can do against a Victor, an Olaf, and an Ezreal with the Elder Dragon from this big of a gold lead, with the Mountain Soul, with all the stats that Miku has accrued through their hilariously good early game. This one will be a game-deciding contest, and we have Squishy Beans backing for some wards, hopefully, backing for maybe an item completion on the recall, trying to get some more stuff done. Shizaki could not clear out the vision behind the Drake. And now we have Nightlark still split pushing top lane with the Baron to go back off now to try to go for the contest on the Elder Drake. He has to be there. He has to be there with the Stand United. As Mitmock maybe caught out, does manage to get away. Universal misses on the Q. Mitmock really wants to get this Blast Cone. He does manage to get it over. And the Elder Dragon is started by Miku. This is it. This is a pivotal moment. Shen still tops it. Hasn't yet ulted. Mitmock gets hit up by Boobies. Taunted up. Unstoppable gets burned. Seraphine ulti finds 2 on the backside. Blue turret is destroyed. Shen is just going to split push. Finally pops the ulti onto Mitmock, who is getting low. She's not going to give it the ulti. Just do as much as she can. Procrap in the ulti trying to heal. Finally gets the Zanya. Still healing Nightlark. Meanwhile, on to Squishy Beast trying to get on the backside. J-Morgs as well. Revex going low. Finally falls down. Triple kill for Victor, making a quadra. And that is the game, ladies and gentlemen. It has not happened yet this series, but Miku will grab the 2-0 onto Universe. 30-second cooldowns on anyone up as the FF comes in. That is it. GG 2-0 to Team Miku in our match here on this fine Sunday evening. Well played all. And yeah, end gold lead was 14K. As we are out of game. Very well played by Team Miku. Early game. Big kudos to Mitmok making that one happen. Definitely showed up on the Olaf, the first blood on the Rammus, taking away on the Grand play. So you did have that one in there. Very well done by him. Played one heck of a game. And all in all, well played. There was a few screw-ups. The mid lane inhibitor wasn't the prettiest thing in the world, but eventually they do manage to win the fight against Elder Dragon. They get the soul on time as they should, and it was all in all good play from Team Miku. Universe, they tried their best. Game 1 had its moments. The Wukong had its moments, but the Vel'Koz just a little bit too strong for them to deal with in Game 1, and Miku played very well around their carries. So, GG, well played all. 2-0 to Miku. Gonna definitely spice up the standings a bit, as that is most certainly by record a definitive upset. The Universe was 16-2 prior to this game. Team Miku 9-7. So, definitely more of an upset. And, I mean, I guess if anyone has any interviews, come in and hop in one of the team chats. We can get you guys in from Team Miku. If not, it's all good. I will wait here for a few minutes, but yeah. Very well played game. Can't really do too much to complain. Universe definitely had their moments. I think the early game was just played really poorly in game 2 by them. A lot of random picks. I mean, not to discount what Mitmok and the team was able to do on Miku in snowballing the early game so hard, but not much else you can say about it other than there are ways to not get picked. There are ways not to get dove in those situations. And that's just kind of how it is. I think Boobies, the Rammus, a little bit of a harder time than he maybe anticipated coming in the game. Had its moments, did have some good picks. One of the J Morgs around the mid lane inhibitor is one of them that you can point to. But overall, just not something that was super viable. And the Seraphine pick, not really working out for them in game 2. A lot of missed ultimates. Didn't look the greatest. So maybe something to work on, maybe something to play around for next time. But all in all, good games to everyone involved. And it doesn't look like we'll be having any interviews tonight. So that will just be it for us here, I guess. I'm going to check the drive real quick and see if there's any more games on in the next few days. So it is the 28th of March. We have the 30th of March, so in 2 days, that's this Tuesday, there's a game between Coach Gap and Universal, which we'll try to get streamed. I might have a midterm that day, so I might not be streaming it. But we're going to try to get someone to stream it. Yeah. Other than that, you're looking at the 2nd of April for 5-inch Girth Gods and SPW. Sure to be a banger of a game as well. And then on the 3rd of April, Boomers and Azuma versus also 5-inch Girth Gods. So plenty of good games coming up here to go around. Again, captains, I know it's a really chaotic scheduling time. I'm doing scheduling as well right now, so just when you get your stuff definitively in, even if it's the day of, put it in the captain's chat, ping me in the caster's chat or captain's chat or wherever, and let us know when your games are at. We'd love to get them casted. So I don't think anyone else is doing interviews. I'll check one more time. Yeah, nope. So that'll be it for this day. Again, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for sitting through the pauses. We had a few technical difficulties here this evening, but yeah. Thank you guys for showing up. As always, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time on The Rift. Peace.